Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to another episode of the No Fluff MSP Marketing Podcast. I am your host, Tahir Hamed. I've got my co-host here,
Stephen Badorf. We have a fun one today. Not that we're usually not fun, but
no, we're usually not
especially fun. We're usually very serious.
This one is
so this is going to
fun.
be
the first fun episode ever.
No, it's about time.
Yeah. So we wanted to do something a little different, and this is going to be almost like a workshop type thing because we are going to watch 2, 4, 6 different ads together with you today. Don't worry, if you're just listening on the podcast, you'll hear the ad. We're going to talk about the ad. There'll still be a lot to glean from it. And then on YouTube, obviously we're going to post on YouTube, but also on Spotify. If you're listening, the video will be there, right? So you can also watch it.
We can also link within the description to put the different links for anybody who's listening for audio if they want to watch them afterwards.
We will do that as well. And the reason we're doing this is a good ad can make or break a campaign.
Yep.
It really can. And I hear all the time, especially businesses, that they say, oh, like video ads don't work. Everybody just wants to focus on LinkedIn or Google. And it's like, look, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube is an incredible avenue for businesses to get leads.
Absolutely.
Like we know that 30% of MSP Camp's growth is from Facebook and Instagram ads.
Yeah. And it took a lot of kind of troubleshooting there because like, as you said before, like we've tested the different formats before and it just was not working. And we saw it firsthand not work. But when we switched those ads or the video ads specifically with that humor and those core pain points mixed in, engagement shot up and we actually started getting stuff from them.
Exactly. And then we are actively running Facebook and Instagram ads for MSPs, also working.
Yes.
So it's like, we just need to get rid of this myth that funny videos don't work in the business to business space because it's business to business, but we're still targeting the exact same human. The exact same, the CEO of that company you want to target laughs at the same comedy movies you do. So chill. Like we focus too much on B2B and it's like, oh, those types of videos only work in B2C. I'm like, I'm seeing it firsthand over and over again. It works in this space. So instead of just preaching to the choir and yelling at the rooftops, we're actually going to go through really good ads. We're going to go through some B2B good ads. We're going to go through some B2B bad ads. We're going to go through some B2C ads. And just the point is the system is the same. The reason they work is very similar. Now, some have different things as we'll get into, but that's our goal today is to show you a good ad as well as a bad one and why it's good and why it's bad, right?
Fair enough.
And none of these, I'm going to be clear, none of these are MSP Camp ads. I don't want this to seem like a pitch. I don't want it to be like, how great our ads are and why they're amazing.
The best ad, obviously.
Yeah, like that's not the point of this. The point is this to show you a great ad and then kind of go into details as to what we think on it. Now, if this is popular and you guys like this format and you want to see more, we can absolutely share our ads too and kind of how they're performing and everything else. But that's up to you guys. Right now, I just wanted this to be super focused on these ads. We also have an MSP ad example that I love. So we're going to get into all of that today. All right. Without further ado, you ready to start, Steven?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. We're actually going to start with one of the greatest B2B ads of all time. And that is from a company you are absolutely familiar with. And that's IT Glue. So, and no, there's no sponsorships on this podcast.
Thank you to IT Glue.
I'm not doing this because they're sponsoring. I don't know anyone at IT Glue. It's an incredible ad, as you'll see. So let's get into it. Share screen. I have to make sure I click include system sound. All right, we're ready to go.
Yes, we've troubleshooted everything.
Yeah,
so hopefully
it's been 45 minutes of making sure we get this right. All right, let's play it.
This is Jason. He's our best IT guy. He's been working with us for quite a few years now. Our clients love him. Our competitors would love to work with him. He knows pretty much everything there is to know about our clients.
That looked like a video game. Oh, that was real. Oh my God. Oh, jeez.
Jason pretty much kept everything in his head for all those years. And now those clients are lost. And that information is lost. Oh, and Jason, of course, we lost him too.
Sir, you might want to take a look at this.
Jensen, we do not have time for another cat video.
Oh, no. We've been using IT Glue to store and standardize client and internal information.
So you're telling me this whole time, without my approval, you've been documenting all the details of our client's IT environment? storing and connecting their devices, passwords, and apps, writing processes for fixing all the problems at their location. So even the most junior tech can do the work. Templating and creating a huge library of best practice processes. Automatically monitoring and storing all the passwords, domains, and SSL certificates. Even tracking who's accessing and changing this information. Complete with version history so we can go back to previous versions. All within a completely secure environment. And linking it to all the other tools we use in the business. Making you ultimately as productive as Jason ever was?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir.
Then that is cause for celebration.
Hey, Jason. Oh, shake that. That's right.
I have probably watched that video like 100 times, maybe. Like legitimately probably 100 times. Because I keep showing it to people.
Yeah. It's paced so well.
It's perfectly paced. And one of the first elements of a good ad in any B2C, B2B, whatever, is a hook. You got to hook them. If you watch any good ad, there's a hook. I'm sure you've seen MSP Camp ad. What do? I'm in like a hallway and I say, hey, you got a second? Come with me. Or I got a question. Come with me. Right? It's just like you're talking straight. You're breaking the fourth wall. You're talking straight to them. They follow you around. The first thing they see is this badass mural of the MSP Camp wall. That's the first thing they see. So it's like that first 10 seconds, they're already like, who is this? They're in a real office that has their company name painted on the wall. That's obviously a lot. It's expensive and effort, right? There's a hook. And then you deliver the goods. That video did an amazing job at a hook.
Yeah, they hit a guy with a bus.
They hit a guy with a bus. But it's also like, what born identity type video is this? I'm so used to just talking heads talking about their services and why it's amazing. It's like, no, this dude's running for his life. And then it got you. And then it's just humor throughout. So they deliver they hook you with it. It's hilarious. The boardroom scene is hilarious. And then the value prop happens. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's a perfectly structured ad. What are your thoughts on it, Steven?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot with ads too. Like the talking heads one that you explained, like usually it would just be that middle part where it's like, we're IT Glue and we do this, this, and this. And we give you, but there's no basis for them to be explaining this stuff to you other than selling.
Totally.
But otherwise, how they did it here was like they talked directly to that pain point of you only have one person that knows everything in your business. What if something happens to them?
100%.
And then they turn the acerbity up to 11. Yep. And then they make it a compelling video. And that one idea, tacking that on to the beginning of the video, makes you actually care about the value prop because you're thinking back to like, oh, if something did happen to my person, all this is happening. Yep. But they're not just talking at me. They're, I don't know, they pull you into the video, they respect your time, and then you've got the humor piece. I don't know. It's whenever I'm watching a video with that kind of humor, like it makes me feel better about watching it because it's otherwise like just you feel like you're getting sold too hard otherwise.
Exactly.
And you retain the information better, in my opinion.
I completely agree. They focus on a true pain point. Why'd they create that video? They probably heard so many times that they're talking to prospect. The sales team says, hey, they're really worried that all of that information is with Tim or with John or with Jason. And they're like, great, that is a true pain point our market cares about. We could have talked about IT documentation. We could have talked about seamless. We could have talked about integrations. We could have talked about all these things. But what is the actual pain point? What if Jason gets hit with a bus? And then they deliver the goods. It's fine. This is what happens next. In a way that holds attention. I bet nobody watching this or listening to this had any problem getting through that video. And if you did, well, then, yeah, you're not cut out for ad creative. Like you're like, if you're not willing to just watch a 2-minute video to get better at making ads yourself, this isn't for you, but you're still here. So you're the person I want to talk to. Like you had no problem getting through that. Now we're going to show the antithesis of that video. The exact opposite. And guess who is doing that video? IT Glue.
Dun, dun, dun.
So IT Glue made that video years ago. It's the greatest video.
You keep coming back to it. Yeah. Because I mean, you showed it to me when I first joined on. Like you played it kind of just every quarter.
Yeah.
We watch it.
And so now let's show another video from IT Glue. Share system sound.
There you go. Yep, you got it. You're a professional.
All right, here we go. Another IT Glue video. This is a whole series, by the way.
Hi, I'm IT Glue.
Hi, I'm IT Glue. Yep, Glue. Definitely Glue.
Okay, sure. So you automatically integrate with all the tools in your IT stack?
Duh. I just have to manually review all the matches every time we have a new integration. It's very therapeutic. You should try it.
No need. How about a two-way sync with your PSA?
No cap, brosif. But like, why wouldn't you want to double type everything? You burn a lot more calories doing that.
Totally. You might want to update this.
Might want to update this. Supervisor, please.
But you're just adding a field. You can do it by your... There's IT documentation, and then there's IT documentation that seamlessly integrates, reduces administrative overhead, and actually scales with you. And how about... Never mind.
I'm going to save my comments because I want to hear from you, Steven. Before I say my whole thoughts on it, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously contrasting it with the past video too, it's kind of like you definitely feel the difference. I mean, it falls flat in my opinion, just because I mean, it's a different type of humor and it's not an idea. Like, I think that idea could have worked better, but it did. I think it fell into that, as I mentioned earlier, like they kind of are just like talking at you.
Yeah.
They're just kind of telling you rather than showing you in any way.
Yes.
And I mean, there's something to be said. I know the whole style of kind of like you're in like a minimalist space and you're the two people, that sort of thing. But I mean, I've always felt like with those kind of things, like the production value, even just like sets and stuff like that, brings a lot to a video. Like when he's talking about the different benefits, they show different scenes. I think it would work a little bit better. I don't know. And the humor just fell flat for me as well. I know it's dependent on the person, but it's just not as tight of a video as the first one. And it's much shorter, but it felt longer than the first one.
Totally right.
Yeah.
It was painful to get through it. I feel bad for that actor because he's actually a great actor, but the script is horrible. The creative director on that first video said, we need to be authentic, we need to be raw, and we need to focus on the pain point. The creative director for this next video said, we need a funny series to sell IT Glue. We need something funny to sell our service.
Mm-hmm.
The positioning of the videos, before the video was made, the conversations before the video was made were wrong on that one. And it's a whole series. Every one of the videos in the series is horrible. It's not actually funny. It's not even cringe. It's just boring.
Yeah, it's flat.
It's completely flat. They didn't focus on a pain point. They tried to be funny, and it did not work. So that's why when we talk about funny and humor, like it has to actually be authentically funny. It can't be like this forced. It was forced. It was forced.
Yeah,
and
that's the best way to describe
it was if you could feel the boardroom in that video.
Yeah.
I could feel the boardroom watching that video. Because I bet it might even have been a great video at first. And then they were just like, no, that's too risky. Or no, let's just have them say this. Or we got to make it a minute. That's the other thing. Your videos don't need to be a minute. I hear that all the time. Oh, it's got to be a minute or less on ads. That first video was 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And as Steven said, easier to get through than this one that was 50 seconds.
Yeah. And it's also a thing where like from the first video, like you can remember pain points because like you remember the scene with this. You remember them like connecting him, finding the first like backup piece and that kind of thing. And this one, like we just watched it. I don't think I could. I mean, I could name them just because it's the same ones from the first.
The
but like
security, the guy with the gun. You're right.
I couldn't pick one out of this next one because it's just like in a 3-point list of a guy talking at you.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like the production value was fine on that video and things like that, but it's just
great. The production value is great. And this is the funniest thing ever. I've been watching IT Glue videos. They tried the series for over a year. Do you know what video they're running again now?
Have they gone back to the same, or did they
went to the
refresh
exact same one? They went back to why? Yeah. Why did they go back to that one? Even though they just probably spent way more money on this stupid this stupid series. It's because they realized these videos are not working. Instead of saying Facebook and Instagram doesn't work for B2B, they said, you know what? That original video we made still kills it. So while we figure out how we recreate that magic, let's keep running that one. And that happens in ads too. Yeah. And that's okay. It's happened
with a bunch of our ads before.
A bunch of times.
Take stuff out, yeah.
That's okay. Let's take a pause there. It's okay if your ad creative fails. That is totally fine. That is actually inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
If every ad creative worked every time, everyone would be millionaires. So like for instance, we did 3 ads recently for a client. We were running all 3 in the market. The one I liked the most, which was the talking phone one, performed the worst. So even though it hurt me, because that's the one I loved the most, I mean, not actually hurt me, but like I was like kind of
crying in his
surprised.
office, yeah.
The data doesn't lie. The data doesn't lie. So you just, okay, fine. I tried it. I mean, it's still doing great. It actually got, a lead, but it's like, it's not performing as well as the other ones. So I'm gonna kill that. And also I'm covering the ad spend for the client because we're testing in his market. So another reason where I'm like, okay, I got to be as efficient as possible with my dollars. So that's an example. IT Glue said, you know what? This did not work. Let's kill it. Let's bring back the one that was working as we work on how we recreate that magic. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I respect that they're able to go back to the first one. I like the idea of a series too. It's just like, it is what you're saying there, like where it feels forced like that. When at the core of it, they're trying to like have like the funny part. And if every part of the series is like that, it just doesn't, I don't know. If you don't like the first one, you likely won't like the other ones. It'd be different if the series was like a narrative or maybe there were different pieces to it. But I assume like from seeing that one, the other parts of the series are basically the same white random room.
Exact same and just as unmemorable. Yeah. Like you nailed it. You don't remember a single thing that was said. Neither do I.
So they probably merged together if you watch the series. It'd feel like you watched like
that's
one video.
Exactly it. So my point is, I just wanted to show, yes, amazing job to IT Glue. IT Glue, also horrible job from IT Glue, but they're learning and realizing, you know what, the numbers don't lie. Let's go back to the original. We're going to do that as marketers. We're going to do that all the time. We're going to fail. And you have to if you're the owner, you have to understand like your marketing person is not going to strike gold right away. And if you're the marketing person, you need to make sure the boss knows like, yeah, we're putting a lot of time and effort into this video. It may not do well, but as long as we take this formula of hook in the beginning, focus on an actual pain point of the client, not something we think, and then make sure you do address how your company can solve that pain point in a way that's as authentic as the rest of the video. Don't immediately switch to sales. Just address it in a way that matches the rest of the video, or then it's going to start being forced and you're going to drop off. All makes sense?
Yep. And another thing I want to mention quick before we move on to the next one is just like, I think IT Glue, both of those too, like cover a lot of pain, like different things within the pain point, which is great. But you could also have just like one key pain point that you're focusing on and you don't have to like list off 6, 7, 8 things. Like really, if you just hit the most important ones, that can be just as strong. Because I'm even thinking like, if you look at that first IT Glue video, like they could cut that down and have like an alternate version that is much shorter that shows Jason running, hit by bus, the oh no by the people, list like 1 or 2 of the strongest points there, conclude. And now they have a completely different version they can run with their long form one, and they can see what works best.
I would totally agree with that. And I'm surprised they didn't do that. The only one I've seen is the long form one. And you're right. There's actually a lot of opportunity to make it shorter and probably convert better. You're right.
I'm sure it's doing great though. It's just,
I have no doubt. All right, cool. Now we're going to move into a much shorter one. This one is 30 seconds. And this was another series. And just a spoiler alert, it's one of my favorite ad series of all time.
It's the Tubi.
It is the Tubi.
No, nice. I remember when he called us over to watch this one. He said, what the hell?
All right. So let's get in here. All right. Share my audio. Let's get into it. Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la.
On Tubi, the rom-coms where sexy heartthrobs lift up their shirts to reveal the most perfect abs you've ever seen. Just keep going.
Throws his shirt down. So good, dude. So good. All right. That was Tubi's ad. And the series is the fill in the blank just keeps going. So the point is Tubi has a massive selection. That's one of people's biggest pain points. Oh, there's nothing to watch. It's like there's a massive selection of this specific type of thing that you like. Who did they show in the video? First thing, they didn't show a bunch of young, hot 20-something-year-olds. They showed a couple MILFs, right? Like they showed a couple of like hot moms because it's like, hey, you're kind of our target market for sexy heartthrobs that take their shirts off, right? And so that's who they include in the video, right? They're not in their 20s. They're like late 30s, early 40s type thing. And the dude's taking his shirt off and it just keeps going and going. Literally when you're watching it, you're like, oh, this just keeps on going. And then what's the hook or what's the call to action? Like it just keeps going. I can't stop watching that video. Like, and we have Tubi at the house. You know, I'm like, it's.
And you remember it for sure. Like you can't forget that after seeing it because the final visual is so funny with him just so tall. I don't know. And it speaks like when you think about it too, like you're gonna think about like it just keeps going.
It just keeps going.
You think of it and you'd be like, why the hell was that guy gigantic with his abs going for the whole thing? Like you're like, oh, it
just keeps going.
Just keeps going. Tubi. Like you'll probably make that connection because that's what happened to me too.
Yeah.
Like even when you just said Tubi, like I knew it was gonna be that ad because I don't know. We watched it, but also it's just so memorable.
It's so memorable. And then the other one, there's a whole series of them. There's another one where it's like the crime dramas where just keep going. Like there's a boat pulling up, you know, in every one of those movies
with their shipments.
A boat comes up with the shipment, but it's like the boat starts coming and then you just keep seeing a boat coming and keep seeing a boat coming. And like, it's funny. The bad guys just look like the most classic bad guys of all time. Like one guy's bald and short and the other guy's tall and skinny with a little pencil mustache. And it's like, they just watching this boat go by. And then it's like the crime dramas, just keep going. And like, then you finally see the guy riding the bug and just the way he kind of pivots and does his thing. Like it sticks in your head. And there is not a single thing said until the very end. That's how good this ad is. And what is the point of the ad? What is the point of the ad? It is to stick in your mind, and that is it. Sometimes an ad, the only thing it's set to do is to put that company in your mind, and there may not even be a call to action yet.
Yeah. There doesn't need to be right off the
bat. There doesn't need to be. Think of it like a billboard, but the craziest billboard of all time because it's a video. That's okay if your ad is like that. That is totally fine.
Yeah.
Some ads, the purpose is to capture your attention and get you thinking about the company.
Yeah. And if you think about that video too, like it would completely be weakened if after that it was like, go to Tubi for a huge catalog of like, but because it stops right there, it works so much better. Like you don't need that hard call to action because it would, I don't know, it would mute it a little bit.
You're exactly right, dude. I didn't even think about that. It would take away from the video. Instead, just shows Tubi and ends.
And you're like, what?
You're just left with like, exactly what? And then you can't stop thinking about Tubi.
And that's a series you want to watch the other ones for.
Oh, exactly. You can't wait to watch it. Now, something we've said on the podcast quite a bit, and I'll always say it for the rest of my life is, people hate advertising in general. Like we hate it.
Yeah.
We don't want to watch it. But look at what we're doing right now. People love advertising in particular.
Yep.
They love it. You have your favorite ad. We have our favorite ads. Everyone has a favorite ad. Everyone has a favorite ad. Everybody. And so now we can really get introspective as to why is it our favorite ad? What did they do right? So hopefully this is helping with that. Let's get into the next one. So this next one is actually, again, a B2C one. We're going to do 2 more B2C, and then we're going to get back to a B2B. So this is a Super Bowl commercial that, again, I've not thought about this company. I haven't thought anything about this company. Now I think about them all the time. And that's the purpose of a good ad. So let's get in it.
I don't have to remind you to share the system audio. You're on fire.
Okay, and actually, I'm going to say one thing before we play this one. This is Mountain Dew. Spoiler alert. It's the Mountain Dew Super Bowl commercial. I'm going to address a limiting belief right now before we get into this. Funny ads don't actually do anything. Like, yeah, I get it. They're fun. They're memorable, but they're not going to convert. They're not good, right? I see that. I hear that.
Yeah, it's very
all
common.
The time. Here's why I'm going to address. This is how I'm going to address that limiting belief right now. It's fucking Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew has one of the largest marketing budgets probably on the planet. If it didn't work, if this type of content didn't work, do you think they'd be investing millions of dollars?
Yeah, they're not just randomly throwing it.
Tens of millions of dollars to play it? No, it's backed by market research after market research after market research. So us as small businesses don't have to do that market research. We can piggyback off of the companies that know what they're doing already.
Yeah.
That's it. Cool. So if you think you're smarter than Mountain Dew's marketing company or internal marketing team, I can assure you we're not. And I'm not picking on you. I'm not either. All right, let's do it.
They could do Mountain Dew for sponsoring. I'm just kidding.
Imagine. we're both drinking Mountain Dew.
Yes. That's what's in my coffee mug. Yeah.
All right, let's do this. I love this so much.
Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Refreshing.
It's kissed by the perfect amount of tropical lime.
I think I'm in a strange overseas. Yeah, my flippers got whole Mountain Dew. It slips right on through watershed.
Conflict. Right when someone was about to tune out, they did this.
There is
Bring it
so
right
much
back.
as you can tell you, so much
Beautiful.
you can say. You remain my power, my
The water behind is so good.
Well, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Mountain Dew Baja Blast, a blast of tropical lime. Good looking seal.
And then a perfect
None of this
ending.
makes sense.
Mountain Dew is using the biggest stage in
Land
advertising.
it. This is not part of the video. That is chef's kiss.
The main idea was, what if seal was a seal?
What
And
if
that
seal
works.
was a seal? And that works. And it's funny because like we kind of got used to the ridiculousness and like we were about to tune out, and then orcas came and it was like conflict in it. Like, you know, it's like storytelling, like what happens next, and then right back to the craziness. Like they literally did that intentionally. It's like, okay, we got to keep these people like super engaged. It is just beautiful. And now I think about Mountain Dew all the time. So it's just I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about that video.
I was thinking too. It's just, but it sticks in your head. Like, I mean, that core image is just haunting.
So nothing else to say on that video. Just a example of an incredible ad and how we can use humor and hooks and storytelling to keep someone invested into our brand.
Yeah. We probably have to make sure we have some pain points in there, but Mountain Dew's got the luxury of full absurdity.
Yes.
A little bit of absurdity though can always fit in.
Exactly. All right, cool. So we're going to play two more. One again is a B2C, and I use this. I actually wrote one of the best blogs I've ever written was around video and marketing, and it was actually for like my side business like 5 years ago, and I used Dr. Squatch as the case study because Dr. Squatch was about a $6 million company, and the guy who was running it was like, we need an all-out ad. So he invested, I think it was like $40,000, $50,000 into a video, a single video. He just put all of his eggs in one basket, hired like this really great actor who you'll see. That video alone took the company from $6 million to $60 million. And this is from the owner. This isn't from the marketing company talking about how great the video is.
Yeah.
So my point is, it's one of the few things in marketing that can truly create exponential growth, because if it works for one person in one market and it captures that person's attention, it's very easy to replicate that. And so now creating it is not easy, but when you have the recipe and when you have that video, blow up the budget. The minute we're seeing leads coming in, the minute we're seeing ROI on the video, you blow up the budget, which is what we've done with every single one of our ads.
Yeah,
and then there's, especially in ours, there's this area where you can't spend too much because then it just has diminishing returns. So there's like a sweet spot for ad spend.
Yep. It'll be different for each ad.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be different for each ad. It'll be different for each market. It'll be different for each industry, but that's some good stuff we get to learn about those. So let's jump into this next one, Dr. Squatch's ad. Got to share audio.
The soap you shower with, it's listen up. The soap you shower with, it's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. They're still using whatever bar their mommy bought for her little man. Is that what you want? To smell like mama's little man? Ugh. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who open the pickle jar on the first try. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. Dare I say, soft. Oh, men aren't supposed to have soft skin? Yeah, well, men weren't supposed to cry during movies. And then they made the movie Rudy. You want to smell like the forest? Boom, pine tar, we've got you. You want to smell like the sea? Boom, nautical sage, we've got you. You want to smell like you just got off a boat in the Caribbean? Boom, bay rum, we've got you. And with 6 more cents, we've got you covered no matter what kind of man you are. Now you're wondering, why have I been doing it wrong for so long? During the First World War, big soap started taking out all the natural ingredients to make production cheaper
Love this part.
and faster. And they replaced all the natural stuff with chemicals. Chemicals like sodium lauryl sulfate, parabens, and dioxin. But there's good news. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. No. Turn your shower game up to 11. With the smooth lather of gold moss or the exfoliating woodsy bliss that is pine tar. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive. Still not sure? Here's a couple reviews
Love
from
that.
real customers. Joseph S. says,
This is the perfect bar of soap. It's like it was handcrafted in the Northwest Forest by beautiful tiny elves.
oh, tiny elves isn't enough for you? Well, here's another review from Michael A.
It makes you feel like you just stepped out of a mountain stream and Squatch was there to hand you the towel.
Time for you to get the right tool for the job, because you're worth it, my friend. We ship it right to your door. And with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, if it's not the best bar of soap you've ever used, it's on us. Click the link for Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Real soap for real men. Or don't, and continue to be mommy's little helper.
That's a wrap.
All right.
They included that in
nice.
the ad.
Yeah.
It says that's a wrap.
Did
This
he
whole
click it yet?
part.
Did he click the link?
See?
He hasn't clicked the link? I would have heard about the dry, sad balls. Oof. Man, what's this guy doing? Click the link, man. Step
Love
up
this.
your shower game.
Love it. That was probably the last bit that if they didn't include that conversion wouldn't have went up as much as it did. That last, like, you haven't clicked it yet? Click it. Excuse me. This is the best way to describe that video. They looked at the pain point of their target market. They don't like, I switched to Dr. Squatch. I don't like all of the fake, all the chemicals, ingredients, and maybe some people didn't know that there's all that shit in there. So what did they want to express in the video? You wanted to feel like Dr. Squatch was the only option for your body. You wanted to feel like everything you're using right now is part of the reason you're dry and you're not liking what you're using. Like, as a man, we're not supposed to care about this stuff, but we do. We do care. I don't like having dry skin. I don't like having chemicals all over my body when I care a lot about my health and everything else. And by the end of that video, you feel like Dr. Squatch is the natural alternative that you have to use. And if you don't use, you're being silly. And price is no longer an objection, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm going to feel better. How much is that worth? Okay, yeah, my soap is 3 times more expensive, but how much is how I feel worth? And those 3 minutes perfectly did that on the person on the other end watching it. And it was targeted specifically to men. They had their vertical, they had their niche. This is only for men. And we know exactly how to talk to our avatar, and we know exactly how to do it in a way that they're going to stay engaged. We're going to talk about their small balls. We're going to talk about mommy's little boy. Like, we're going to do these things that are going to not necessarily insult the person, but have that person have a moment of realization. It's hard to recreate the magic of that video, which is why it went on to add $54 million in revenue for Dr. Squatch. But if we watch these and we become in love with them, we can get better and better at replicating that magic.
Yeah. Rewatching it again too is like, you kind of realize watching it, like no one shot is like overwhelmingly crazy difficult or anything, but it's like the script is perfect and everything they go through is perfect. There's no wasted time within there.
Yes.
So like, and they also just cut between stuff so often too, where it's like, it keeps you engaged just watching. And the presenting style is like, the guy just has like this kind of like unhinged energy as well. And he's so engaging.
Yep.
It's better than like the sum of all of its parts almost.
Yes.
And it really is just that strong, like, they give you everything. I love the idea of like the testimonials being actual people emerging from the woods. Your informational piece, which is usually like the low point in most videos, is like a science fair presentation. Like that's so smart because it's just like, you're like, oh, they're lecturing me. Like you might be thinking about it with an ad, like, oh, they're going to lecture me about stuff. And he's literally lecturing you about it. You're like, oh, that's funny. And then you're also listening to the information.
And it's teaching you something. Like people love doing their own quote unquote research, you know, and they're like, well, I knew it, but it's like the purple color falling on the guy's head. You're like, that's what I'm putting on my body. Like you have this emotional reaction to the whole video. But I love what you said. You're right. The whole thing could have been shot on a phone.
Yeah.
The whole video could have been shot on a phone. And most of that budget that they spent was for that actor. That's where most of the budget went because he was so good. At MSP Camp, all of our ads are shot on phones. It's funny because the ads we actually give to our MSP clients are incredibly produced. We spend a ton of money on them, but our ads for MSP Camp, phone. And I want to continue doing that forever. So that way we can show people you don't need $30,000. You don't need a 4K camera. You need your phone and a good microphone, please. Audio is very important. And that whole video could have been shot on the phone.
Yeah, and I think this is another ad too, like that completely disproves the piece where it's like ads need to be 30 seconds a minute, that sort of thing. Because like it's perfectly paced, but it's also like you watch that full video, there's no additional information you need. If you're going to buy, you'll buy because they provide all the info you need. They provide testimonials in the video. Like after you watch it, like there's no lingering question really. It's just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna buy and try, basically.
Yeah.
And it's also just possible because it's a longer form ad. They're not trying to cram too much into 30 seconds or a minute. Like they take the time to let it sit, keep you engaged throughout. I mean, it's so strong. Like
so strong. And we know it's strong, right? Like a lot of these videos we're watching, we're like, oh, this is great. This is really strong. But it's really nice to have the backup data. We're like, yeah, obviously this is strong. Everybody that watched that goes, this is a great ad. But now what happens on the back end that we don't see? Tens of millions of dollars. That's the power of really strong creative. My whole presentation at ScaleCon was creativity sells. That was my whole presentation. Why? It's because so many businesses run YouTube ads. So many businesses runs Facebook ads. So many businesses run these different ads. And they struggle to get a good ROAS. They struggle. Why? They're doing all of the targeting just like everybody else. They're doing all of the formats just like everybody else. They're updating things just like everybody else. What is the variable that matters? It's the creative. That is a hill I will die on for the rest of my life because I've seen it over and over and over again play out for us, for Alltech, for now dozens of clients we do marketing for.
Yep.
It's the creative. And that's why I hope you're still here. I mean, obviously, if you're listening to this, you're still here because this is important. This shit is not fluffy. This is what can make or break our marketing. Now, the last video we're going to get into before we kind of wrap up, again, I know there's a limiting belief, like you're almost here. You're almost there. You're almost bought into what we're talking about here. And some of you may already be immediately bought in. But then there's that last lingering thing in your mind. I know, but in the MSP space.
Yeah.
In the MSP, it's different. We're different. Things are different here. And I promise you they're not. I promise you. One, because our ads are working for MSPs. But again, we're not here for that. But two, I'm going to show a video from an MSP that's doing this style. And I love it. Now, it's not as great as a lot of these videos we just went over. It was done in-house, but they had the balls to do it. And it turned out good. And they've been running it for a long time. And I have no doubt it's providing some level of return for them. I think it's not as polished. I think they should have hired an outside videographer to do it. But it shows that they're trying. And if they keep trying and keep refining, it's going to kill. A last piece on this company. This was when I started at Alltech. They were the company that I copied. So the company called Digital Boardwalk. They were much bigger than Alltech when I started. And I remember watching the CEO, Tim Shoup, and I was obsessed with what he was doing. I loved that he did green screen work. I loved how many video testimonials they had. I loved what their website looks like. So early on, when I was an earlier marketer, I followed them like crazy. Everything they did, I wanted to copy. And it wasn't because we were really competing. They were mainly in Pensacola. We're in Lakeland. They had like an office branch in Lakeland. So it's not like I was doing it because I wanted to eat their lunch or compete with them. I just knew they were doing it right. And here we are 8 years later. They're still doing it right. So without further ado, let's show this video. The suspense. The suspense.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, what's up?
Can you take a look at my computer? It keeps crashing every few minutes.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to take a look. Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Sam.
Of
Can you
course.
take a look at my computer? It's freaking out.
Yeah. I mean, more than happy to. Ah! My brain doesn't have a set file!
Like already the audio was clicking right there. You know?
Poor Sam.
He steps over Sam.
IT management used to be like playing a game of Tetris. But now it's like playing chess while blindfolded and riding a unicycle. But amidst
Changing
this
scenes.
delightful
That's good.
mayhem, countless wise businesses have opted for the company I birthed and fine-tuned eons ago. Hey, I'm Tim Shute, founder and CEO of Digital Boardwalk, and I can help your business navigate the chaos of IT management. Or we can help Sam here by co-managing this environment and turn him into a rock star.
Love this part. So they turned the IT guy into a rock star.
Our services not only tackle IT issues head on, but we harness the power of AI to keep them from reoccurring and revolutionize the way modern businesses operate. But despite our AI prowess, don't ever ask us to make you a decent cup of coffee. Lebowski, no. Every day, Tim. The coffee sucks, Lebowski. Clean up in the break room. He's at it again.
That was a wasted
dedicated
scene.
project and help desk team to monthly reviews with our chief information officer. You and your IT guy, if you have one, won't feel like you're trying to tackle a jungle armed with nothing but a spoon. Sure, you'll probably make some noise, but you'll likely end up lost, tangled, and wondering why you didn't bring a machete. Here, try that. Yes. From handling simple password resets to optimizing performance and fortifying your cybersecurity,
Digital Boardwalk provides a comprehensive suite of services.
Our programs are designed not only to manage, but elevate your IT experience.
Say goodbye to the chaos and hello to a streamlined, stress-free IT environment.
That was nice.
just smooth, efficient IT solutions tailored to your needs.
Going to the cloud, very nice.
Need help with managing cloud licenses, servers, email, and everything else that lives up here? At Digital Boardwalk, our heads are in the cloud. Hire us and you'll be on Cloud 9 too.
So you call Digital Boardwalk. No more IT headaches, no more chaos. With fully managed and co-managed programs, we tailor IT solutions to your needs.
So, did you get the memo? Give Digital Boardwalk a call. There are architects of tranquility in a world of technology.
Call me like that.
What is this?
That's cool. Love the sound effect, or love the music.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's
if
great they
you've
have so
made
many
it this
actors,
far,
and I'm
you
sure
know
also
that
just
a
people who work
partnership
there
with
in the
Digital
video.
Boardwalk will keep you
I think
safe
most of these are people
in
that
this
work there.
chaotic
Yeah.
digital world. They specialize in co-managed, fully managed, and IT compliancy programs. With a process
Are they trying to do like a Morgan Freeman?
Yes.
an ever-growing cybersecurity stack. They're the seasoned guide who knows every trap door, every secret passage, and every hidden treasure chest to keep you safe and efficient. So, my friends, take a deep breath, relax those tense shoulders. Let Digital Boardwalk shoulder the burden of your IT so you can focus on what really matters: your business, your dreams, your vision.
Huh? You're still here?
Unfortunately.
Here, let me help.
Wait, no.
So one thing I want to address before we get into the discussion is, here's the thing. Was that video as good as these other companies' videos? Of course not. But the expectation is different. And what do I mean by that? When you're a business in a local community, the expectation of your video is different. It's literally different. When you see a small business's video, you expect horseshit. I know that sounds bad, but it's because that's what you should. That's what you expect.
Yeah, usually just talking head.
I literally never see ads for local businesses, ever.
Mm-hmm.
I see it for big businesses. I never get cold called by small businesses, ever. I see it from big businesses. I never get direct mail from small businesses, ever.
Yeah.
I get them from big businesses. So the minute I do see that in my market, and it's not because I'm a marketing guy, it's because I'm a business owner and I care a lot about my community. I'm more bought in because you're a local business. I am. If you call me and you're a local business, I'm going to be nicer to you, and I might actually give you the time of the day. If you spoof your email, you spoof your phone and you're actually a conglomerate, I'm not going to give you the time of day. So my point is, because they put that time and effort, they're willing to be funny and they're willing to put the ad spend in a local market, which I see it all the time. You're going to get more buy-in from your community than if you're a big corporate company. That is it's kind of just what I've seen.
Yeah.
And it's how I react to. So overall thoughts on the video, Stephen, before I get into my thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you can feel the effort in it, and it's a longer video, and they cover a lot of information in it. But I think it does work because, like you're saying, you do have that grace, but also just like interest in. You see somebody in a video, and then you talk to them on the phone, or you meet them in person. I think there is a huge benefit for a local business like that, using actual people from there. I think we did that a lot with Alltech as well. And the other thing I observed as well is kind of like you were saying, that one scene, I was feeling the same, like with the coffee thing. Like, it's a wasted scene because there's no pain point there. It's just for humor. And it kind of ties back to the iTubely video that didn't hit as well because it's like it's humor for the sake of humor rather than like the humor with like the machete for the guy who's tangled up. Like that works well.
Exactly.
Because it's tied to the pain point.
In, you're right.
So I mean, that was really the only part I was noticing where I was like, oh yeah, this part like is kind of a wasted scene, or it gave me that same feeling as that second IT Club video. But the rest of it, I mean, like, super varied. I love the elevator going to the cloud and the actual animation of it.
That was great.
And like I love that contrasted with like he's on like the green screen in the cloud. Like it doesn't all have to be like perfect production value. Like he's actually in the sky. Like no, it's like there's humor to that too.
I love it.
It felt very authentic, which plays really well for a local business.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you said. I think it's too. It was too long. It was too long for sure. There was a lot of wasted space. But it was interesting enough to keep watching. They did a very good job of talking about the pain points, especially in the co-manage, because they do both. And they wanted to address both in the video, and they did a good job of that. So like, oh, well, I don't need an MSP. I have an internal IT. Oh, yeah, Sam has been struggling, right? So they did a lot of good things in that. Obviously, they're not a conglomerate with a whole marketing team and everything else. So like they did their best. And it's probably going to perform pretty well. Maybe not as well as the videos we get like highly produced. But I think it'll do really well for them. So yeah, I think my point more about showing how great that video was, it's that, listen, that MSP Digital Boardwalk, I don't know how large they are, but they were large when I was starting at Alltech 8 years ago. So they're a big company and they support big government contracts and they support big lawyers and they support big, big companies, and they're willing to be silly because they realize it helps way more than it ever hurts. And that's what drives me crazy. No, it doesn't drive me crazy because everyone has their own way of cooking chicken, as Andrew Gard said in the last podcast. And I like that.
That's a good thing.
It's just that like people say, well, we service, and they fill in the blank. We service, fill in the blank of the industry, fill in the blank of the client, whatever. The content you're using doesn't speak to that persona. Like people love doing that. They love saying that. And it's like that, the owner of that company is a human. If we can talk to them like a human, we're going to be able to talk to them more. So it's just, we can kind of relax a little on them. Like, I have to just have corporate bullshit content. Like, you don't. And I promise the content I'm using is not for just people under $1 million. I have people we have MSPs right now in MSP Camp that are over $10 million that use our content, love our content, get results from our content. So we need to stop these like preconceived notions of how you market a B2B company. I feel like that's kind of our whole thing.
Yeah. I mean,
it's our whole
since
thing.
the start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
And so this video just goes to show this is another MSP that's been killing it in marketing since I started Alltech 8 years ago. And I've been copying them. And they're still doing it. Why are they still doing it? Because it's still working.
Yep.
So do we want to stay? Well, not everyone listens to this MSP to this podcast is small, but if you are small, do we want to stay small? Or are we cool with being ourselves and being authentic and having content that can actually capture the attention of our audience?
Yep. We'll say that was a fun
rhetorical question. I love this, dude. I hope this goes over well with the listeners, because I would love to do this like monthly, quarterly, whatever you please. For anybody still listening to this, let us know. Comment on the YouTube video.
Give us something.
Comment on the spot. Like, please, please show us a sign. Because I love this. This was fun.
Yep.
I hope anyone listening got something out of this. I mean, if you're still here, I'm assuming you did. So yeah, anything else, Stephen, before we kind of wrap up?
No.
Oh.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it really is. I mean, it's that core piece of like, you don't have to settle for the same corporate content. We've always said that, but also just like, if you're going to tie in that humor, what I kind of took away too is like, tie in humor, but make sure it's connected to a pain point. Make sure everything's connected to a pain point, and you could go with horror. You could go with like any kind of genre, but as long as it's tied to a specific pain point that people care about, and you're not just like splicing like this is the humor part and this is the like important like value part and this is the ending. Like if you merge it together like that first IT Glue ad, like I mean the seal one was just kind of crazy, but like the 2P ad, that kind of thing.
In your head now.
Yep, exactly.
Can't stop thinking about it.
But it's all just kind of like that.
They get an applause.
Yeah. Who knows if they hear the applause? I don't know if they'll hear the applause. Oh, they will. Excellent. Great.
All right, y'all. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. Because yeah, I love this style. I hope you do too. If not, we'll go back to our regularly scheduled no fluff 20
serious podcast.
Yeah, serious podcast. So cool. Thanks everybody.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed it. Please let us know, and we will see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.